Okay. So exponential functions just basically mean that the exponent is going to be a variable, like we're going to put a number in the exponent. 11.3 that you did first are talking about two specific kinds. So growth and decay, and then compound interest. Growth and decay usually are kind of straightforward. The hardest part on those is figuring out how to type it in the calculator, because a lot of people will accidentally put the rate as a percent, but it has to be a decimal. Compound interest usually feels more difficult. And that's because the n that goes in there, so the number of times it's compounded per year, they don't usually say specifically that answer. It usually says something like annually, quarterly, monthly, something like that. And so they don't directly tell you the answer. So annually would be once per year, quarterly would be 4 times per year, monthly would be 12 times per year. So that's usually the hardest part on these second ones. Was it difficult for you guys to type them in the calculator?
No,
The calculator part was easy?
I didn't know how to do that.
Put it in the calculator?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you guys want me, before we start today's, do you want me to kind of show you how to type some of those in the calculator?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's do that. I'd recommend you use the one on your Chromebook, because then we can all do it the same. Oh, shoot, I'm not gonna be able to see it. Let me get the calculator open. And then this is basically only if you were having trouble typing these in. Okay, let's do that problem together. We'll basically go over how to put that on the calculator. Let me get the calculator over there. Where'd my mouse go? Perfect, we can see it in the background. Just to make sure, can you guys see the calculator on what's being shared?
No.
Not you.
Yep.
Can you type it in chat? I don't know, I can't hear you for some reason. Can you see the calculator I'm sharing? Okay, perfect. Okay, so if you're using the calculator on your Chromebook, it should be this exact same calculator, might be a different color or something. Here's gray maybe. Black, okay. Actually, I think I can. Yeah,
Wait, is it just a regular calculator?
there we go. So if you're on the Chromebook, on the little circle, when you click it on search, type TI.
Is it the 84?
TI-84, yep. So that's the one you want. So that's the graphing calculator that's kind of built into the Chromebook. Now, we want to type in this formula, the 500 times 1 plus 0.04 divided by 12 to the power of 12 times 6. And this formula would have been this information. So if you were told that you started with $500, you put it in some kind of bank account where you get 4% compounded interest, and it's compounded monthly for 6 years. So this is a sample problem like you guys probably have. Typing it in, I'm basically going to try to type it exactly like that. But some of you may not know where the buttons are, so that's why I thought it'd be good for you to show. So 500. And then the left parentheses is right above the 8. I know the big downside of the calculator on the Chromebook is it's super tiny. And then I'm going to do 1 plus. And then the next thing is a fraction. If I hit alpha and then y equals. So basically the green button, y equals, that's going to be F1. I don't know why it's hidden, but they've got kind of these little hidden menus that make it easier to use. You guys want me to show you where that is again?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. So if you hit alpha y equals, it should bring up this little menu. And then choice number 1 is how you can type in a fraction. So I want to put in 0.04 for 4%. Compounded monthly is 12 times per year. And then I hit to the right to get out of the fraction. Hit a parentheses again. And now I need the power on there. So this little up arrow, which is probably the same power button on almost all the calculators. That's how you do a power. I want to do 12 times 6. So my goal is pretty much to just type it in exactly like it looks. Now, there is other ways you can do it. So if you're using your, is anybody using their little scientific calculator?
Oh, I'm not using it though.
I get it.
What?
Already did.
Okay. So if you're using your scientific calculator, the way you'd want to type it in would be similar. So you would do 1 plus 0.04 divided by 12. And then when you hit the power button, on your scientific calculator, here. This is what it would look like on your scientific calculator. You do 1 plus 0.04 divided by 12. And then it'll most likely show that symbol. You're going to have to put the power in a parentheses on its own. So if you're using your scientific calculator, that's how you have to type it in. You guys want me to, if I were you, what I'd recommend you do is hit clear so you clear your screen completely. See if you can type that in on your own. You're going to have to type in quite a few of them on your chapter tests. What is it, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday.
Wait, I can go like, yeah, 500.
Yeah, that works. You can do it that way. That's how you do it on the phone. Yep, absolutely. You don't have to do that fraction. Pick number 1. You just said that. Or in the way. So you can either hit down or.
Let's hit enter.
Oh, yeah, then it was straight from the entire. Anybody else have trouble getting that answer? That's about as difficult as you'll have to type in. Anything from like exponential growth and decay is easier because there's no fractions or the power is a single number.
How do you get the X?
The one above the division key. I wish there was a way they could make the calculator much bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so tiny on the tiny screen.
Big. I think.
You just have to that.
Oh, no, I know. She is really bad at it.
Yeah, I don't know how to make it change size at all.
Like, I don't know what numbers on the board. The fraction, what is that?
0.04/4. You need glasses?
Yeah.
Well, if you're nearsighted, then that would be easy to see and that would.
Yeah.
That'd be. And then you go like me and then use glasses for both. You guys want me to go over any problems from yesterday with you? Like from the homework or anything? Would you rather me just go right to the next?
Yeah.
Okay, so since today's section is similar to yesterday's, by the end of today, you might be feeling more confident about it anyway. So if you didn't get the title, it's exponential functions. And yes, it's totally out of order. A normal exponential function, it can have a multiplier in the front. It doesn't have to. The main thing an exponential function has to have, you know, paper or pencil or whatever. Yeah. The main thing exponential has to have is a base number. So that's b. And it says b has to be positive, which is semi-true. This right here is really all that matters from that. So you're not going to be given one that, you know, has numbers that don't work. Everything you'll be given works. And I feel like the first part of today is going to be really easy because you did yesterday. Oh, yes. It's actually that. After catching 0 fish. None, 3.5 days. And it went from 85 degrees on Friday to 45 degrees and windy on Sunday. Yeah, it was quite cold. No, I was on Lake Cabotogama, which is kind of right on the Canadian border. I know. I saw that.
It's like not that far away.
It's 6 hours.
How many hours? That's not like.
6 hours.
That's not like way.
No, but Minnesota has pretty big different weather climates.
Oh. True.
Didn't you learn about the Laurentian divide in grade school? Continental divide, whatever.
I don't pay attention. Thanks for being honest.
It's in Minnesota. It's like the divide between climates. And there's a big, huge, it's basically a big ridge.
You probably learned about
Okay, well, it's in northern Minnesota.
it. Okay.
Above that is basically Canadian weather. Below that is Minnesota weather.
Oh. You were basically in Canada.
Well, I was only a mile away from the border, so yeah. Okay, we can change page now?
Mhm.
All right. So we're gonna do a couple of these, and honestly, I'll probably skip some because I think it'll feel really easy to you because you did harder ones yesterday. So this one says the function f of x equals 2 times 3 to the x models an insect population after x days. So this basically says that you would start with 2 insects and then they triple each day, because that's basically all the longer it takes to repopulate for bugs. Very similar to how they figure out how long people are dead by looking at the number of bugs on them. That's,
Yeah,
So that was that in your recording?
yeah, I was gonna say that, that's one of the classes we teach here.
Yeah, biomed.
Biomed?
I take it.
Okay. I mean, it's gross, but it's kind of cool.
That's what you find out.
Well, there's all sorts of,
That's it?
isn't there like a whole unit on like murder and death?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anniversary.
Yeah.
because they used to have teachers come and be like the dead people. I have yet to volunteer for that. It feels kind of weird. Mhm.
Now they have like
They have a dummy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a cadaver. No, very different. Cadaver is very different. No, no, that would not be cool.
Yes, it would.
That definitely crosses the line. It's like purposely choking somebody to practice CPR.
How would they get that like in school? Like,
There's dead, like animals all the time for dissection.
but it's a human.
Do it the same way. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, that's all. we're gonna do.
That actually kind of nasty.
So calculating these is gonna be very easy for you.
Okay, now.
That letter just basically tells you what number you're putting in. It says the 5th day, so we would put 5 in.
What's the difference? 5?
One more time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nothing. I'm just talking out loud.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
3 to the 5th, I think is 243. There's 2, 486. Maybe.
I'll tell you.
Oh, wait, this is way easier than yesterday.
So 3 to the 4th.
486 is right.
Perfect. 3 to the 4th is 81. So then I did 81 times 3, so 8 times 3 is 24. 1 times 3 is 3. 243.
You lost me already. Hey, wait, so you did the exponent for
Do 3
Yes.
times 3 times 3 times 30.
If you're doing this on your phone,
calculator.
if you're doing this on your phone, you have to calculate that first. If you're doing it on a graphic calculator or a scientific calculator, you can type it all in as one. You could, doesn't matter. Your calculator will figure it out.
Smart.
This is way easier.
Why don't you instead, oh, sorry, go ahead. Do you want me to go back?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, so today what we're doing is we're talking about all the different parts of exponential. So yesterday was all about trying to calculate things. Today is just kind of going all the different parts of it. Okay.
You can go there.
Okay. Rather than writing this problem down, why don't you guys just see if you can figure out what the answer should be? Or like what you would type in to get the answer. Because this one is not one I could do myself.
1, 5, 0, 0 times. 0.
Generally, speaking in silent voices to yourself.
Oh, sorry. I will.
Because this says years, then we're okay. If this said days, and then it said 8 years down here, then we would have to put that into days. But that's really why I was checking to see if the X stood for the same thing you're told. My guess is every question you get, these will be the same. But that's one thing you could look for. Like algebra 2, frequently they'll change those. Or on the MCA test, they'll change those for you. Okay, good. Who should we go with? Kayla? Are you ready? How come we started with 1,500, but our answer is smaller? Because it's really helpful for you guys to know if your answer seems right.
Wouldn't the 3 round up to a 4?
I don't know, I
Because
didn't,
it's a 9 after the.
Yeah, it's 0.
sure,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, does it?
that's okay if you don't. No, does anybody know why the answer is smaller than what we started with? Because that's kind of good to know. It's because the decimal is less than 1. So if you multiply by 1, your answer stays the same. If you multiply by bigger than 1, your answer gets bigger. If you multiply by smaller than 1, your answer gets smaller. So we were multiplying by smaller than 1 8 times. So that's why your answer is smaller than what we started with. And it's good to know little things like that, to just know if you typed it in. That's, I wasn't necessarily expecting everybody to get it just.
Does it matter if it's a 4 or 3?
Generally, yeah, but. Because like, say you're going to pay. Well, actually, if you're going to pay, they always round up, they don't round down. Yeah, on the test, no. I usually accept that. Okay, next thing. If you're given a bunch of numbers, you have to be able to identify an exponential function. It's terrible. That's why I said today is just a lot of little things.
Yesterday's is way harder. I'm just glad it's not like this.
Okay. This one's already done. From this picture that's already completed, Garrett, let's go Garrett. This one already has some info written on here. How would I know that this was an exponential function by what's written up here? Okay, let's pretend that's not there. But you're 100% right. If you see the equation, then absolutely that's just an automatic answer. Let's just say you have the numbers only.
I got this.
I hear Alex whisper something.
He's saying even numbers. No.
Not a bad thought. Oh, that's not what you said? What'd you say?
I said it was that, but
The equation.
Advertised.
if it's that, like.
Well, let's pretend you don't see that. Yes. So if something is exponential, if you have a common multiplier. So we've done ones like this before, but before what we needed was everything to go up by addition or subtraction. For this to be exponential, it has to be a multiplier. That's all we're going to look for. I can erase that, what's up there. You normally aren't going to have the equation. But because the equation was 3 to the x, that's why you're multiplying by 3 a bunch of times. You guys were both correct on the equation part. Every question we get, though, you're just going to be given the white squares. Do you guys read that?
Why is it 2? Why is there always 2?
So this would be like your starting number. I think this was the equation for flies on the previous page. So like you started with 2 flies and then you triple every day.
Oh,
So that's your starting number. It's kind of like over here, your starting amount of money, and the different formulas. The number with the power is the multiplier. Something you want to keep on the page?
No, I just finished.
Okay. Maybe you got it?
Huh?
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, I just saw you right, so I didn't want to go too early. Okay, let's do a problem together. This is frequently how it'll be given to you, just as points. Caleb, you remember what we're supposed to do first when we just have a bunch of points? Oh, I thought you said yeah, sorry, my fault. Do you want to pick somebody else? Yes, are you looking at the notes? Okay. Absolutely, put them in a table. So the first number will write on the left, second number on the right. I don't actually care if you make a table. Like, there's nothing wrong with just writing the numbers. I'll do a table just so it looks better. Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first thing we're supposed to check for?
No, I don't really remember if I'm being honest.
Common multiplier.
Maybe.
That's what we're gonna end up checking for, but not the first thing.
It's calling me.
Sorry.
It's okay. Does anybody remember the first thing we have to check for?
If it's like,
Good,
ratio.
even.
Even.
So if this is an even interval, so -1 to 0, up 1, 0 to 1, up 1, 1 to 2, up 1. So because these are all the same, then we're able to go look at the right column. If these weren't even, then it doesn't really work. So we usually have to check this first. Kelly? How do we check for the multiplier? Like, not everybody can do this in their head, and I know some people can look at those two and automatically know the answer. How do you do it on the calculator to find the multiplier?
I don't know how you figure it out, but I know it on this one.
Okay,
It's ×2.
perfect, it's doubling every time. So on your calculator, you're gonna take the second number divided by the first. If you take the second number divided by the first, it'll always tell you a multiplier. And after that, it's much easier. So 3 to 6 is double. 6 is- But you always take the second divided by the first.
Common multipliers, so like, okay, well, will those numbers ever be different?
Yes. If any of them are different, you can stop right away. So if this one was 2 and then you found out it was 3, you can stop because it's not exponential.
And the answer would be like one.
Then it would just be no. Because usually the question is going to be phrased, is this an exponential function? And so then it's usually a yes or a no,
And then if it's a yes, we'd say that it's.
exponential or yes. Yep,
You have to say like exponential and then like the 2 next to it, or just.
I'm actually only doing this now because we're going to talk about the multiplier in other sections.
Okay,
So usually it'll just say, is this exponential? I mean, if you want to write that for yourself, sure, but you don't have to. I figure I'll put extra stuff in notes. How are we feeling on this one? Like 0 to 5?
4.5,
Are you gonna do half on your finger?
like that.
Which
Wait.
one is half?
My thumb, so it's bent.
Oh,
Oh, wait, or I could do that.
that's better. Okay. I'd like to throw in a gang sign, but we'll go. Why don't you guys just try this one on your own? I want to say this answer is no, if I remember correct, but try to find out. So I stopped immediately after the second one, because they're different. Most likely, this one was written like this, because it goes up 18, up 18, up 18. This one would have been linear. We did that a while ago. We're going to do it again in 11.5, I think it is. So that's why I don't mind having this as an example, but either way, this one's not exponential, and that's really all we care about right now. I think this is the last paper problem, if I remember right. No. Yeah, probably. I can, I mean, like, it's not gonna change anything, though. Yeah, it is, this is left. So for graphing, what we're gonna do is just make a table ourselves. We're just gonna fill out a table and then put them on a graph with points. You're not going to have to know how to you're not gonna have to try to memorize how to do them in your head. I don't know. There's pluses and minuses to this. Like, to me, it actually gets kind of confusing if we try to memorize the different details. So it's not terrible to just put in numbers. You don't necessarily have to write this down. What's written in blue is just kind of that's just kind of the directions for graphing an exponential. Make a table, put them on a graph. So let's do this one. You don't look super excited to do this. We've only got like a couple days left of school.
Wait, can you go back to a second?
Yes. Just write down the blue words though.
Oh.
The problem itself wasn't a big deal. Yeah, we only meet together 3 more times.
What's that?
We have to shed a tear or 2.
Like 3.
I don't know what that's at.
3 plus 7.
10 tears. Is that's like a full cry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I'm also happy so that we have some time off. So that I can
See us?
rest my brain. Well, I'll see you again next year.
Okay. We have you again next.
Oh, no, I'm not doing geometry.
Oh,
I'm doing algebra 2 next year. But I very well might have you in class in 2 years.
that would be cool.
I like switching between algebra and algebra 2 so that I get to see the same people. And then I have a bunch of people from algebra 1 that I've seen Calc. So, like the person we had this year, I've had her 3 times.
That's crazy.
Okay. Jackson, did I call on you yesterday? I don't think so. What number should I try? So I want to make a table.
Right, so negative 1, 2, or negative 1, 0.
Very close. And I think you probably said that because of this one.
What, I thought it was
Gotcha. So the reason I didn't like this example is because you have no idea which way it's going to curve.
Like, they usually are those like the numbers we start with.
Pretty close. This is what I've always had everybody do.
Okay, and I was like, what number you did before? I don't know.
Yeah,
I just got it today.
I'm generally going to do these 5 numbers. And this will work for every one of the problems. Let's start with the easiest one. If I plug in 0, 2 to the 0 is 1.
Oh.
I know, it's the most annoying one to try to remember. I'll do 1 and 2 next, because they're also something you can do in your head. 2 to the first, 2. 2 squared, 4. Sophia, how about you? Why did I do 2 to the 0, 2 to the first, 2 to the second? Like, how come I was picking that? Good. So the equation we were using was 2 to the x. I only asked that because I know some people get kind of stuck at this part of the table, like trying to know what equation to use. And that's correct. That's the equation we were told, so we just put a number in place of x. It looks like the school has great internet. So last trimester, I had a bunch of students get really confused trying to calculate this. You absolutely can use your calculator. This is going to be 1/2 or 0.5. So you don't need to be able to do it in your head. It feels wrong, right? A lot of people want to answer -2 and -4. A negative on a power doesn't mean, it means you divide that many times instead of multiply. So the other way we can do it is we divide by 2 each time we go up. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. I am 100% okay with you just using calculator to help you out. Like it's. So -2.25. Okay, 0.25. I have no idea where that actually is. So I know it's between 0 and 1, so I'm just going to guess. Right there. -1 and 0.5, well, it's halfway between, so that's my guess. If you have a point that's not right on a line, just do your best and guess. 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 4. Now, these usually go up super quick, so that's why I have a big graph. This is the smallest one you can get using 2s. And it's already up at 4. So I just kind of connect them with the next line. Any parts of this you want me to help you with? Like, didn't make sense what we did up there. I want to put one up for you guys to try it. So make the table on your own and then try to draw it on your own. So this one's similar.
How do you know what numbers that are like?
The left side of the table. Always pick the same 5. So the -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 should work for all of them. And then the right-hand side, that'll always be different.
So I keep getting the message that's saying my internet is unstable. Is
Is it coming through choppy for you guys? No. Okay, okay, good, Soren. They could see you, I tilted down the camera, I guess. I don't know, I usually have the camera off. Today I've just left it on. Because it's just basically pointed up at the ceiling.
Here's such a very nice.
And then you've got me creeping on the side of it.
I'm sorry. What would you do on that?
See who hasn't gone yet. Todd, are you ready? Can you go up there and write the table that we're going to use? Perfect. Probably, I mean, whatever is easiest. If you just want to put numbers like, yeah, that works. Everybody makes tables differently, so. Wait, did you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Oh, no, don't want that. I shouldn't, it's not that it's wrong. You're just only going to see half of it. So the reason we did -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 is so that we could see both halves. Okay, got it. That's all right. Adeline, you haven't gone.
Okay, can I do the
Table?
one side of the table?
So like,
facing out front.
do no work, do the part that I told you,
Yeah.
I guess. Does that mean you're going to fill out the right half?
No,
Oh, why?
I'll make it. 'cause
I don't know what I'm doing.
How about this? How about we have somebody tell Adeline what to write in there?
Yeah.
Um,
And that's not it. Okay.
You could have erased it.
I called on everybody else?
That call someone?
Sure.
Sophie.
Yeah, right.
Did you fill them out from the calculator?
No, I don't know how to do it.
Okay, that's all right.
Ayla.
Oh, wait, don't know how to type it in?
No, I don't know how to do that.
W-
It was different. It was just one number.
So it has a negative in it.
So on your calculator, you're just gonna type -5 times 2 to the, and then whatever number you type in.
Oh, wait, would you do the -2 then? For the-
Yeah, you would start with -2, so you're gonna have -5 times 0.25. Negative 1.25? Does anybody else need help knowing how to type that in the calculator? Okay. Oh, Garrett, did you get it filled out already?
Yeah.
Excellent. Can you read it off to Adeline?
I only got the first one.
So you did the first one and decided you knew how to do it, so you stopped. I see. Okay.
Would you do -5 times 2 and then put -1 for the little power?
Correct. So it'd be -5 times 0.5. So yeah, go ahead. Yes, absolutely. So the best way I can say it is you're only going to see the right-hand side of the graph. And all that would show you is kind of like how steep it goes up or down or something. It's not necessarily going to show you the left-hand side of the graph as well.
So you're just supposed to go to like
We're just going to use those same 5 numbers every time.
every time?
Every time. -2.5. Oh, you've got it filled out? All right, good. That's correct.
-10.
Perfect. Okay, now here's what we're gonna, oh, I suppose you don't want a graph now, huh? Oh, excellent. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to change the scale. So see how the graph going up says 5 and 10, and then going down says -5, -10? You're gonna need to change it to say -10 and -20. So if you guys are drawing a graph on your notebook paper, then obviously just go by a scale to start with.
And is there anything on the top or not?
Sure.
Excellent. Okay. Do you think you know where to put them? Or do you want somebody else to do that?
-2,
Okay, so 2 to the left. Yep.
2
And then -1.25.
here.
So it's a little bit past halfway. So each square is up and down is 2. So go 2 to the left and then like a half a square down. Yeah, good enough. Okay, -1, -2.5 is going to be a tiny bit past 1 square. Sure. And then, oh, no, up a little bit. So it's in between the second and third square. What the heck? It's only weird because we're going by 2s. Yep. And then -10 is going to be 5 squares down. Yep. And then all the way at the bottom. Perfect. You just kind of make a smooth, it's not going to go past the line. So it flattens out. So when you draw to the left, it's going to immediately flatten out and follow the black line. Yes. So on the exponential graphs, that's how they're always going to be, is they'll always follow the lines. And I am not going to be like looking for super accuracy. I'm basically just going to be checking if you have a sort of right picture. That's how longer it's going to take. I thought they were graded. Did you take it late? Oh, later in the night? Then that's why it's not. So I'll be correcting that today. Because I think I had everybody else's corrected before the end of the day. Oh, yeah, you were gone that day, weren't you? We were, yeah, I kind of remember you did it virtually, yeah. That is the last one. Now, this is in the textbook, but to be blatantly honest, I don't care if you know this part or not. Like, you're theoretically supposed to know which way it curves. Yeah, this is why I don't know. Let's just go right to that. Okay,
Mr. McConnell,
yes.
inside the book of the assignment, for like 21, for 21 through 28, there is not a time listed as like the problem. So how do you know what's like?
Are those all Half-Life?
It only says like 7. It's funny because I know. So like, 5 equals 3 and then times 1.1.